Suprabhatam. Let's start the next chapter of life of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhansa Dev. We have started this segment on the beautiful eve on the beautiful eve of 1st January. Uh, I remember it as the Kalpataru, the day when the great Guru became the Kalpataru for his disciples, for his followers, or whoever came to came to him for the notion that he can help him or her, or for the sake of a help or a love he was showing and he is still showing by his existence, this form of existence. So today I'm very grateful that tomorrow is going to be the birthday of his one of the most powerful disciple, who is Swami Vivekananda. So day before his birthday, I am going to read his guru's birth mystery. So let's start, and I hope it will give you immense joy to know how this maestro was born and what was the divine conspiracy or divine decision. So let's start. Khudiram stayed about a month at Gaya, performing various ceremonies according to the scriptures. He went to shrine of Vishnu or Gadadhar, as he is called, and offered oblations to his departed forefathers. The joy which he felt on that day can better be imagined than described, for he had discharged one of his obligations as a son according to the scriptures. He felt that the spirits of his ancestors were blessing him. Full of humility and gratitude, he thanked God again and again for giving him the opportunity of fulfilling his obligation. That night he had a strange dream. He felt himself transported again to the temple of Gadadhar, where, in the solemn silence of the sacred precincts, he found his forefathers feasting with gladdened hearts on the oblations. Suddenly, a divine effulgence filled the room, and the spirits of the departed fell reverently on their knees before a luminous person seated on a throne. The effulgent one beckoned to Khudiram, who came forward and with a heart full of devotion prostrated himself. Addressing Khudiram in a tone of great sweetness, he said, I am well pleased at your sincere devotion. I am born again and again to chastise the wicked and protect the virtuous. This time I shall be born in your cottage and accept you as my father. Khudiram was struck dumb with awe. When he regained the power of speech, he said, No, my lord, I am not fit for this favor. Thou hast already shown me more than I deserve. I am too poor to serve thee properly. The Lord consoled and reassured him. Khudiram awoke, his heart filled with joy. He understood that a divine being would bless his home, but he resolved to say nothing of his experience. He returned home about the end of April. In the meantime, Chandra Devi was also having strange visions. One night, she dreamed that a luminous person, exactly resembling her husband, was at her side. The vision persisted even after she awoke. She thought that someone must have broken into her room and that the sound of footsteps had caused the dream. She arose, lit the lamp, but found the door bolted on the inside. She became so nervous that she was unable to sleep the rest of the night. Next morning, she called two of her friends, Prashanna, the daughter of Dharmadash Laha, and Dhani, her blacksmith neighbor, and told them what had happened. They laughed at her, told her not to repeat the absurd story, and assured her that it was nothing but a dream. Another day, when she was standing with Dhani before the Shiva temple adjacent to her house, she saw a flood of celestial light issue from the image of Lord Shiva and dart towards her. She was about to speak of the phenomenon to her friend when the light entered her body and completely overpowered her, rendering her unconscious. Dhani nursed her back to consciousness, and hearing the whole story was at first puzzled and then took it as a nervous disease. But Chandra felt as if she were with child. The first thing that struck Khudiram after his return was the change in his wife. Her natural kindness of heart was increased to such a degree that it overflowed in every direction. More than ever, she considered it her duty to help her neighbors in every possible way, supplying their needs from her own stores, even going without food if necessary. And when she told Khudiram of her experience and that she felt that she was about to become a mother, he remembered his own visions at Gaya and was able to reassure her by telling her that they were going to be blessed with a divine child and that supernatural happenings were to be looked for in such a case. He advised her not to speak of her visions to anyone. Chandra was greatly consoled and passed her days in complete resignation to the will of Raghuveer. The present living members of the Chatterjee family relate that the prospective mother began to have visions almost daily. Sometimes she felt the presence of celestial beings, at other times, she heard voices. One day, she awoke from sleep to hear the tinkling of bells uh, uh, awoke from sleep to hear the tinkling of bells from a child's anklet. Sometimes she was found speaking in whispers with invisible beings. She told of her strange experiences to her husband, saying that she had then not during prayer or meditation, but with her eyes wide open. We make no attempt to explain the strange incidents narrated above. We shall only remind the reader that similar stories are associated with the advent of prophets and incarnations all over the world. The incidents here related are not based on mere hearsay, but as far as possible have been gathered from authentic sources. The blessed hour for which Khudiram and Chandra were anxiously waiting at last drew near. On the morning of February 17th, in the year 1836, Chandra told her husband that the time of her delivery was at hand, but the following night was well nigh past before, with the help of Dhani, she gave birth to a boy. The lying the lining room where the august stranger was born was a small hut containing a husking machine and an oven for boiling paddy. It was the vernal season, and nature had breathed life into the world after the long winter. Birds with their sweet chirpings and flowers with delicious perfume herald delicious perfume heralded the advent of the new prophet, who, with infinite love in one hand and infinite knowledge in the other, came to deliver his message of hope to suffering humanity. After giving the necessary assistance to the mother, Dhani turned her attention to the babe, which to her surprise was not where she had placed it. It had slipped into the adjacent oven and was lying there half covered with ashes without uttering a cry. She picked up the infant and was astonished to find that it was as large as a child 6 months old. When the friends heard the glad tidings, there was great rejoice and blast of conch shells or shankha, I must say, announced the blessed event to the outside world. Khudiram and Khudiram, an adept in astrology, found that the infant was born at a most auspicious moment, giving promise of a brilliant future. Celebrated astrologers later corroborated this and prophesied a great and illustrious career for it. Khudiram was overjoyed that the prospective greatness of his son confirmed by his vision at Gaya and explained the experience of Chandra Devi. He named him Gadadhar because of his wonderful experience at Gaya. So, my friends, this is the end of the second chapter from the book, which is actually narrating in front of us the life of the great Maestro, the great Guru. And so, in the next Friday, we will try to read the incidents whichever took place, and we will see and we will start to learn from his experience, from his journey of his master. So that's it for today. I am taking a leave with your all permission. So till then, tada.